So if you go to MetroWest STEM Education Network's homepage, STEM Week is always located right at the top, whether it's one that just passed or one that is coming up. And it takes you to this landing page, which once again has a little bit of context about what STEM Week is, links to the statewide website once it's ready. And then you can explore 2023 opportunities. So we'll start with MetroWest events and activities. Here at the top is the form that I mentioned earlier for sharing your events with us. I'll take a dedicated portion of this meeting to go through the form later on. But right now, I'd just like to highlight when you scroll down on the page, we start with events that are open to the public. So these are events that are actively searching for participation. Typically, there would be a registration link or somebody to contact for more information about the event, a short description, and a link for more information. I also try to mark if it's an in-person event, a virtual event, or a hybrid event, the date, and basic location. So you can see I've already posted some events from the Christa McAuliffe Center, MathWorks sessions. MassCUE shared some great opportunities from their cybersecurity, the STEM Starter Academy, MassCUE conference we'll learn about later. And finally, when you get to private events, these are events that are not searching for participation outside of their organization or institution, but we'd like to give them credit for what they are doing during STEM Week. So I've shared it in a different way here, but these will also get reported to the state. So a kind reminder, even if you are doing a STEM Week event or opportunity that is not open for the public, still report it to us, especially schools, out of school time, after school organizations. We'd love to give you credit for what you're doing. And then while I'm here, I'll also continue on with the design challenges. And so the design challenges are organizations that have received funding to kind of host and plan ready to implement activities during STEM Week and beyond. Many of these opportunities go the entire academic year for educators and their students to participate in. I do my best to collect information from each of the design challenges as early as possible. Many of these organizations, and you'll find out more very soon when they start presenting, have PDs and information sessions that start in mid-September. So I think somebody has an info session, their first info session starts today, others that happen later this week. So this is a really, really great time for us to have this meeting and start getting the recording of the session out there for educators to know what opportunities are available to them and get registered, signed up. So I'll just quickly scroll through, but again, you'll hear from 4 of these design challenge hosts in just a few minutes. So we have Wade Institute for Science Education. Some of their information is hidden under this collapsible, so please feel welcome to click on that. You can see their workshops, virtual and in person. Kids in Tech and their 2 engineering design challenges. STEM Education Center at WPI, the I Am STEM lesson library. And they're the one that has a virtual session coming up today. And Museum of Science. Their professional learning webinar on September 28th. And then some additional STEM challenge partners that the state will be sharing much more about.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kara Doherty. I am the education coordinator from Wade Institute for Science Education. We provide professional development for K-12 teachers. We focus on inquiry-based, hands-on science, technology, and engineering. And this year we have partnered with the Lloyd Center for the Environment and Buttonwood Park Zoo on our challenge. Our STEM Week challenge this year is called Animal Adaptations and Bioengineering. So the engineering design challenge is as follows. You can see it on your screen here. Your team of engineers specializes in creating prosthetics for injured animals. You have been hired by a local organization that provides this service and need to create a prototype for the injured animal. This is a two-part challenge where students will draw both an initial and a consensus model. They'll give and receive peer feedback. They'll budget the cost for their materials that they're using in the prototype, and then they'll create the actual prototype that they will present. So participants can register for either the 2 virtual learning workshops, or there's one in-person workshop at the zoo. Those are all on different days. Or they can decide to just do the challenge and receive the kit, the materials kit in the mail. Both workshops also will include the materials kit. That's for Massachusetts educators only. And the kit includes a huge variety of materials for free. So for students to use on the design challenge, as well as the 6 stuffed animals that will need a prosthetic. You can see a little picture there on the side. This is our marine kit. There's actually 2 kits offered when you register, a marine kit or a terrestrial animals kit. And it includes other things like vet wrap, plastic mesh sheets, gauze, just a ton of a variety of materials they'll be able to use. Our STEM Week Challenge also always includes a curriculum guide, and this is going to be at least a week's worth of lessons and extensions and student sheets that they can use leading up to that 2-day or that 2 45-minute session challenge. And the challenge is targeted for grades 5 to 8, but it is adaptable, especially for high school if you wanted to adapt it up, or even down through grades 3 and 4. We do offer the kit, like I said, only to Massachusetts teachers, but anyone can register for the curriculum packet to get that digitally. And just be aware that if you or if you're sending this off to someone to register, if they sign up today, they probably won't receive their kit in the mail in time for this week's first virtual session, but they will for the second week's one. And thank you so much. That's really it. If you want to learn a little bit more, you can head to our website, or you can always contact us at the email at the bottom there. I just had this little slide with if you wanted to take a snapshot or something of the dates and times.
So again, I'm Donna Taylor. I'm joining you from the STEM Education Center at WPI. And I'm here to share our I Am STEM lesson library. I'll start by sharing that it was actually first developed in 2020, funded by the Mass STEM Advisory Council for STEM Week, and has continued to be funded in 22 and also in 2023. And now I'm excited to share that we have 28 lessons in the library, which is super exciting. This is a lesson library for grades pre-K to 7 now. It focuses on solving problems in grade level books. All of the lessons align with Massachusetts ELA and math or science standards. They use everyday materials and recyclables, and they are free and available year-round. The library is open. We've had over 200 educators attend training since 2020. So super excited to be able to bring this back to you. I'll start by sharing that all of the lessons follow the engineering design process or the problem-solving process. They start by reading a book, and a problem is identified that's related to the story. The students brainstorm some solutions, they come up with a plan, they create and build their solution, they test it, they improve it, and of course, communicating throughout the process. We are offering 6 different info sessions or kind of short workshops. They're 90 minutes long each. Starting with tonight from 6 to 7:30 for anyone who would like to join. You're welcome to still register today. So most of them are in the evening from 6 to 7:30, but we do have 2 that are offered during the school day from 9:30 to 11 as well. So we ask you to consider joining us. They're all very interactive. Again, 90 minutes long. We will introduce the engineering design process and then kind of take you through a lesson with colleagues. You get to try it out sort of in student hat. And then we are offering at the end of STEM Week For any teacher who would like to try the lesson with students and complete a survey afterwards, we do offer a $25 gift card for that. And then if I can, I'll just briefly jump over and share the lesson library with you. So when you go to the site, this is our main page. All of the lessons are broken down by grade level or by subject. So again, it's grades pre-K to 7, science, math, and tech engineering. You can link to our upcoming training here as well. So this is where you can register. I'm going to just really briefly show you first grade. So this is our first grade page. One of our new lessons this year is called Forenses Light. And when you click on Forenses Light, it'll take you to a brief summary. Forense is a firefly who is embarrassed about her light and attempts to cover her beautiful glow. Through her personal growth and the help of her friends, she learns that her light is a wonderful trait that makes her very special. Now, you can kind of pick up on the SEL, the social emotional component there, but there's also science built in. So in this one, students will investigate how light passes through various materials. They collaborate, plan, and create a light filtering outfits for Forense. So super cute. It ties to a first grade standard on light and passing through different materials, as well as engineering design and ELA. I'll just kind of briefly show you what the lesson plans look like. So this is, again, it starts with an overview. You'll see that this is set up to go for 5 days, Monday through Friday, going through the complete design process. Of course, it could go longer if you prefer. The practices are there. We have links to culturally and linguistically sustaining practices. The standards are there, key vocabulary materials, and then it kind of goes through Monday through Friday. I know I'm kind of scrolling really fast. And then Friday, and then just mentioning that we also include lots of optional extension activities, because once one thing comes up, lots of new ideas come out. So we always offer extensions as well.
Okay, so for our STEM week design challenges, we're focusing on biomedical engineering. So if you want to go to the next slide. So this is just a quick overview. This year, our entire after-school curriculum is based around biomedical engineering with a focus on social justice issues to anchor those biomedical engineering activities. And so, for example, the students will be looking at, a food desert, and what does that mean to have a food desert? How can we, combat that from civil engineering standpoint or from a marketing and graphic design standpoint, but also what effects does that have on the human body? And then how can we create tools to deal with the effects of malnutrition? And so these built-in storylines are really engaging for the kids, and then allow them to understand, well, why do we do these things? Why should I be interested in this stuff? And so then for our STEM week, we've picked a sampling out of our year-long curriculum of some of the highlights of different areas, and teachers and parents can go to our website and they can pick and choose activities. They can do all 5 days. They could pick just one. You can take one of the activities and really build the whole engineering design process and do the repetition, or you can just do it as a one-off activity. All the tools and stuff are on our website to be able to do that. So if you go, I'll walk you guys through what the 5 days look like. So if you go to the next slide. So the first day is, and this is all career focused. It's the idea of, what could I do with biomedical engineering when I grow up? Because kids think biomedical and they just think doctor and nurse. Well, there's so many other avenues that they can go down. And so the first one is about designing prosthetics. And so the students will design a prosthetic hand. Now, when we do this as part of the club, it is a three-week engineering design process, because we go through multiple iterations. They start by designing the hand on paper, then creating a 3D model, and then coming up with what essentially is the coding process for how you would make a smart hand, a hand that can respond to inputs. And so for our kids, it would be like a 6-week project. Obviously, that's not necessarily going to be the case, so we've created it as a one-day STEM project, but teachers do have access to the materials to be able to expand that if they so choose. So then on day 2, so day 2 is on cardiovascular surgeon. So each of these lessons, the kids will learn about the part of the human body in a quick set of videos that we've curated. And then we provide a video tutorial on how to do the activity. So in this case, the activity is unblocking a clogged artery. And so the kids test out a variation of what's used in the real world, and they see how well that works or doesn't work. And then they take the opportunity to try to design a better tool using the materials they have. And now the materials are simple things like straws and paper clips and tin foil, but you know, it gets the job done and the kids get to really experiment and be creative. So day 3, we focus on AI, as that is very clearly a focus in the world right now. But it's also a very important thing to understand from a biomedical engineering standpoint. So this is just on the AI side of it, and having the kids think about what it means to make a robot think like a human. Like, what level of processing and coding does that take? So this one very nicely doesn't require outside materials. Teachers can use what they have in the classroom. It's really about getting the kids to think through like the decision tree that would be involved in coding a robot to play a board game. Okay, it rolls a 6. Then what happens? What happens if the dice falls off the table? And really getting the kids to try to think about that. And so they write the code for their partner, who then has to act as the robot and only do what they've coded for. And so it's just a really engaging way to get the kids thinking about, you know, what does it mean to actually do some of these things that have just become part of our daily life. On day 4, we go to robotics engineering. And so the thought behind this is, you know, we have seeing eye dogs. They're wonderful and lovely, and not that we want to take work away from dogs, but seeing eye dogs are very expensive, and, you know, do have a, you know, endpoint. So can we train robots to act as seeing eye dogs? Again, connecting that AI component. And so this time the kids will be using iRobots, Root robots, but obviously not every school district has access to that. However, very nicely, iRobot's website and their digital simulator is accessible by all. And so the lesson ties directly into that, for them to practice trying to code the robot. You know, it can sense when it bumps into things, it can sense different lights, different colors, and give us sound reactions to that. And so getting the kids to understand the process of coding for, okay, I've had an input, now I need to give an output to signal to the user, and having them work through that process. And then the last day of curriculum that we're providing is around research involving oncology. And so the students will be learning about targeted treatments for various diseases, everything from cancer to viruses to whatever that may be. And then they will be designing a physical filter to try to filter out normal cells from the cancer cells. Now, in our case, the cancer cells and the normal cells are, you know, pieces of candy, you know, pinto beans and lima beans, whatever you might be using. But it gives the kids an opportunity to, again, engage in that engineering design process and try to create a better tool than what we may have been using. And so on the next slide, we have website is kidsintech.org, and there is a specific link on there for STEM Week. And I don't believe it's active yet, but they're working on creating those video tutorials. So once those are complete, that link will be active and it will have all the content that I've just described. And if you have any questions, you want to get involved with Kids in Tech, we're always looking for, you know, partners and volunteers and all sorts of things. So any questions, anything you want to talk about, just email info@kidsintech.org. And thank you very much, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for having me at this meeting today. So I'm Marissa Garcia from the Museum of Science in Boston, and I'll be sharing some information about our plant packaging design challenge, which we created for this year's STEM Week. So it is designed for grades 3 through 5, but has tips and modifications to be changed to be used for lower and higher grade levels. It consists of 3 45-minute lessons. They are all hands-on lessons that get kids engaging with materials and testing things out before they make their actual design. It can be used for both in-school and out-of-school time settings. And it's a modified version of the full-length Engineering as Elementary unit, Thinking Inside the Box, Designing Plant Packages. So if you're familiar with that EIE unit, this is inspired by that and then modified down to a shorter time frame with some simpler kind of scaffolding leading up to it and all of that to just make it a bit more easier to manage within the time frame of Mass STEM Week. But as others have said, you're welcome to engage in it outside of Mass STEM Week as well. We are also encouraging educators to attend a free professional development, which is happening next Thursday, September 28th, from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. And I will put a link in the chat once I'm done presenting. So a little more about the challenge itself. The goal is for students to apply their knowledge of the basic needs of plants as they engineer a package to help keep a plant safe and healthy during transport, and to consider why packaging matters. So the unit introduces a problem through a short story. It's a very, very shortened version of the EIE story. And the story itself is actually broken up and told across the 3 lessons. Then students consider the strengths and weaknesses of 2 existing package designs. They explore materials that they can use to improve those existing package designs and work in small groups to imagine, plan, and create a plant package design before they test it and make improvements. And as with previous Mass STEM weeks, we have connected our unit to the UN Sustainable Development Goal, Goal 12, which is about sustainable consumption and production patterns. So different from our complete EIE unit, this plant packaging unit has a modified context that helps to connect what students are doing in the unit to the idea of food packaging and transportation of food and produce more generally. So the package that they are actually designing is for a tomato plant from a garden that is being transported from one vegetable garden to another. And then in the final lesson, lesson 3, they broaden their perspectives and think more broadly about this problem of packaging and transportation of food as they watch a short video and discuss the importance of packaging and how food gets to our markets and grocery stores and all of that. And the unit can be accessed for free through our online platform, which is learn.eie.org. And I'll do a little screen share of that in just a moment. First, anyone who's using it needs to sign up with a free account. Then you can search 2023 in the search field, and you'll be able to find the unit. Within the unit is that link to the professional learning session if you're interested in joining that as well. And you can also find for free lots of content from the Museum of Science, including all of the previous year's Mass STEM Week units. So last year's was a bioplastics unit designed for middle school, and the year before that, we had sort of smaller mini challenges designed for various grade bands to get into. So once you have logged in and made your free account, are you able to see the browser screen now? Yes, thank you. You can either in the search bar type 2023 to get to the content, or I have all the content because I work at the Museum of Science, but you would be able to see all of our free content. So I'll go down to there. And you'll see that right now, the Mass STEM Week 2023 is our first offering. Oh, it didn't take me to the free content. Here we go. And then you'll be able to see all of our other free content that's available. There's actually 37 items in this category. There's last week's STEM Week content, but I'll click into 2023 and just give you a quick preview of what it looks like. We have some general information. We have the professional development link where you can register. And then if you open the teacher guide itself, you'll see some challenge overviews, planning information, materials, and things like that, as well as all 3 of the lessons. And with that, I'm going to take us back to the slideshow and say, thank you very much. There is my content information or my contact information. Please feel free to reach out with any questions, and I will pop a link to our professional learning in the chat.
at MassCUE, we have our annual fall conference coming up. It has MassCUE. First of all, a little bit of a background. We're about 40 years old. We're a nonprofit that focuses on training teachers around education technology. And so our fall conference is at Gillette Stadium, which is kind of a fun place to be anyway. And we invite not only tech companies that are hoping to, integrate some of their designs into classrooms, but also we have teachers from classrooms across the Commonwealth presenting on how they're using EdTech either in their classroom, their district, or their school. We also have two amazing keynotes. It's a Wednesday, Thursday, so we have a keynote on Wednesday, a keynote on Thursday. And in the chat, send the link to that QR code just in case you don't have the ability to scan it right now. The link's in the chat for you as well. Registration is open. We some highlights for the STEM people in the audience. My background's in physics education, so I love being in STEM spaces. I don't always get to be in STEM spaces, so I'm excited to be in one this morning. We have a ton of AI programming for educators that are doing awesome things with ChatGPT, but also talking about the ethics of ChatGPT and how to use that as a tool in your toolbox, as opposed to copying your homework, which is what all the teachers right now are concerned about. We also have some amazing STEM program from science teachers, K to 12, as well as a ton of engineering design challenges, both from our educators presenting how they use technology in their design challenges, but also our vendors and how they use technology in their design challenges. Some of our vendors we're really excited about. We have a STEM playground sponsored by TEQ, which is an awesome STEM company. They sell a lot of great products for classrooms. And then we also have, for the first time, we've been trying so hard, we finally have an esports arena that we are so excited about through CDW. They're going to be talking about how to integrate esports into your classroom. And so we're really excited about that. For those who, registration is open, but for those who either have never come to MassCUE or are struggling with maybe the cost associated with attending a conference of our size, we have 3 opportunities. On that same website, you'll see the opportunity that says volunteer. Under that, we have 3 opportunities to come at a discounted rate. One is to volunteer, and so you'll see the rates for volunteering are lower, but we also have scholarship opportunities for anybody in a district. Anybody who hasn't come to MassCUE can apply for that scholarship, but we do prioritize districts that DESE targets as high needs. And then we also have a social media ambassador opportunity where you also get into our conference for free. So there are those 3 opportunities for free or discounted registration. And stay tuned because we have some other great PD coming up. So make sure to stay on our website. But we absolutely hope to see you at our fall conference. So thanks to everyone for being here.
Cool. Well, hello. Thank you all for joining me today. And so my name is Wesley, as I mentioned, and I'm excited to tell you about kind of our company and products before giving a teaser into 2 of our STEM Week offerings. And so MathWorks, as you may have heard on NPR, is a leading developer of the mathematical computing software MATLAB and Simulink, of which engineers and scientists worldwide rely on to accelerate the pace of discovery, innovation, and development. And in fact, there are over 5 million users in over 180 countries. Over 100,000 businesses, governments, and schools use our software in some capacity, either for research or education. And pretty much any top automotive or aerospace company you can think of uses our tools in some capacity in their kind of entire manufacturing pipeline. And so beyond that, engineers and scientists also use our tools to develop the breakthroughs that transform the way we live, learn, and work, from solar-powered cars to advanced robotic prosthetics, to to autonomous robots, as well as to wave farms that harness the power of ocean waves to generate clean energy. And so for STEM Week, we'll be exploring how MathWorks tools can and are being used to quantify and track climate change. And so we'll focus on 2 case studies throughout the 2 events that are listed on the slide. First case study is the Amazon rainforest disappearing. In that case study, we'll use MATLAB's image processing toolbox to track deforestation in the Amazon using actual satellite photos of forests kind of before and after commercialization, industrialization, and just see what we can actually quantify and track. The second case study will cover an educational suite of activities for students to explore the definition of a heat wave by working with real data from across the US. And in this kind of suite, students have the opportunity to kind of move some sliders, change the definitions, and then see kind of how prevalent, or depending on the definition, not prevalent, heat waves may or may not be. Both of these sessions will talk about the rainforest and image processing examples and demo. The second session is also aimed at educators and high school students. And in that session, we will also cover this heat wave demo. Full workshop descriptions can be found on the MetroWest activities and events page that was shared earlier. And I think that may be it. I might say as well, so at MathWorks and part of my team, we do a bunch of PD, outreach, other kind of activities, both for students and educators aimed at computational thinking, data science, technical computing, kind of things all in that realm. And so certainly if you have any questions or if you want to follow up, I'm more than happy to chat either about our STEM Week opportunities or things beyond. So, don't hesitate to reach out. And that's it. Thank you.
The other one we are promoting is a clean energy education and career pathways 101. Again, we're really trying to introduce this idea of clean energy. What do we really mean when we talk about clean energy, from both certainly job opportunities, but also from from education point of view? If we want to speak specifically to high school and college students and educators, and to really kind of clarify, answer questions, demystify some of the ideas that may be out there. Solar panels, solar energy is not just solar panels that we can put on our homes. There is a whole industry of solar farms, for example, right? Or community solar that could be explored. What is offshore wind? Is that relevant to someone that grows up a little bit further away from the coast and doesn't care about marine biology? Well, yeah, of course it does, right? And what is geothermal? There is a whole explosion in geothermal industry, and particularly in Framingham. Framingham has been really at the epicenter of a new for the United States, I should say, new kind of approaching geothermal as a series of networks, or geothermal networks. So what does it mean? So we are proposing, and so we will host on Wednesday, October 18th, from 4:30 to 6 p.m. This event, and I should say it is in collaboration with the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center. And what it is, this is very simple. These are my 2 slides. They will bring 2 FSU professionals from the clean energy industries, so that, again, high school and college students will be able to meet one-on-one with some of these professionals, specifically from these 3 fields I already mentioned: solar, offshore wind, and geothermal. And there will be a tabling activity, so where, again, students can meet one-on-one and ask any questions they may have. There may be some hands-on activities, but also there will be a roundtable, a more formal presentation from the stage, if you want, from 3 representatives. And they've been charged to Again, give us a little bit more information what these industries are really about, but most of all, to give us an idea what are the professional opportunities in this field and put themselves in the shoes of a high schooler or college student and say, if I'm interested in this kind of career pathways, what kind of courses should I take? What should I think about? Are there maybe out of school time opportunities that I could benefit from to learn more about these industries? So that's all what I wanted to say about this event. Again, is to respond to what we think is a very important focus on, in this case, clean energy, and in general, what we can do with them to both learn about climate change and develop new strategies to mitigate the impact of climate change. So this again is going to be on Wednesday, October 18th at 4:30 p.m. We will send, I know there are some high school administrators here on the call. We will send specific information to multiple high schools that are directly or indirectly involved with MetroWest, a STEM education network. The other event is actually the event with which we will, at least in MetroWest, we will really kick off the STEM week. It's actually nature provided us with this opportunity. It's going to be on Saturday, October 18th. As some of you may already know, there is going to be, it's going to be an annular solar eclipse in some parts of the country, the fortunate one, the fortunate state. Here in Massachusetts, we will be, able to see a partial solar eclipse. It happens to be right in the middle of Saturday, October 14th. So why not having a public event for everyone interested to attend? This is really a McAuliffe Center event in collaboration now also with some Framingham State faculty, but we will have telescopes available in a few different locations on campus so that people can view this partial eclipse. But also there will be several of us, staff from the McAuliffe Center, some faculty from Framingham State to really engage the audiences in understanding more about the phenomena, but also with other hands-on activities that we will providing. So as you can see, it's an event that evolves over time. So it's not that one has to show up at 12:30 for the event. Anytime essentially in that window between 12:30 and 2:30 is great for people to experience, again, something that nature, a special event that nature is providing to us for free. I think, much more information, of course, is here on our website, I should say, right? I'm looking at important information in terms of safety. We are equipped with sunglasses, solar eclipse glasses. So if people have some, they can bring theirs, but we will have special glasses to provide to all those who attend.